Hi, this is Maginoni, and here's some comic reviews for you. We have Justice League #1, Justice League 17, Secret Avengers 1. This is actually from last week. Nova 1, Avengers 6, and Spider-Man 4. Okay, let's start with Justice League of America #1. This here is your building block of what's to come with the Justice League. And basically, Amanda Waller gets Steve Trevor to find the team. And this is the team, keep in mind, that is going to take down the Justice League in the event that the Justice League, goes bad. Now, this team is not, it's strong, but it's not strong, you know what I mean? Like, there's some really vicious characters on here. You have Katana, you have Hawkman, but, how is that going to compare against Superman? You just can't. But anyways, let's take a look at what this whole book is. Now, overall, like I said, it's giving everybody an introduction to who all the characters are, especially since some of these haven't really been seen before in a long time, like Vibe, and it's just setting everything in place. Now, it's also giving you an idea of how Steve and Amanda are going to work together also going forward. And I will say this: Hawkman in this is a badass, and they really hammer that home with this issue here. Now, my one complaint is the art. Now, normally I do like Finch's artwork, but there's just something about this art that just doesn't seem right. Maybe it's the overall tone, maybe it's, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't look as good as I think it could have looked, which is a shame. Because like I said, normally I don't mind Finch, and I'm not sure what's going on with this. Overall, it's a decent read. It's nothing earth-shattering amazing. Like, I can't see this ever being like a book of the month or a book of the week type thing. But it is what it is to get you going. They don't tell you everybody, or talk about everybody, because there's actually they left out Green Lantern for an example. But like I said, it's a decent start, and it gives you just enough to make you potentially want to go to the second one, especially since between these two issues they keep teasing the League of Injustice, or whatever they're going to call it themselves. So anyways, let's go to Justice League. Okay, what we have here is the end to the Atlantean War. And the thing, I think my problem with this is this. This was a great series idea. I think it's what was needed in terms to show how powerful Aquaman is, and it really gives him a place. And I think my major problem that I had with this is it started and ended, and you blinked and you didn't notice it. Now, in my opinion, a story like the Throne of Atlantis, where you have Atlantis uprising, you have nukes smacking down Atlantis, and Atlantis sinking city, or not sinking cities, but doing tidal waves. I don't think you can really end this thing quickly, but it's really what they do is they just introduce it, tidal wave hits, battle, heroes get captured, new heroes come in, final battle, done. And I'm like, wait a second, you have issues here. There's stuff that you just can't wash away that easily. And you build something up, and then you just basically ignored it, and then just so you can get to the ending. There's no emotional impact. There's nothing. Like, when the tidal waves hit, you just see the tidal waves hit millions, they say thousands of people died, that's it. And they move on. How could you do such a thing? Thousands of people died. But there's no emotional connect to that. And then with this ending here, even though this is this big spectacular, and I'm leaving this here because I want you to see this is a big battle. This is not something that's taken lightly, where you have a bunch of solo heroes, and some of these heroes are going to be going to the Justice League of America. You have the creatures from the trench attacking. You have Hawkman, who's just bloodthirsty, killing things. You have the Justice League involved, and the Atlanteans. And then you have this battle of who's going to rule Atlantis at the end of this. And it's over in an issue. I'm thinking to myself, how could you do something like this? This is, I mean, you have brother versus brother, and it's over, like, brother gets slapped, and he goes, okay, I give up, brother, Arthur, you win, you're the king. And I'm like, excuse me. There's nothing to keep you drawn in. There's nothing that makes you, like, feel sympathy for the characters. Like, you would think when you have a brother on brother for the throne of Atlantis, you know, basically a monarchy thing, that you would have a sense of loss, like somebody's losing something and somebody's fighting hard to gain something. You don't have that at all. It's over and done in a couple panels. And I'm like, something's wrong. You know, you have that part of the problem. You have a betrayal of, and even that betrayal is like, I betrayed you, but here's your magical harpoon staff, and you're the king. And Aquaman just throws him to the trench creatures and then saves him. I'm like, okay, that you just had a major betrayal, and you just brushed it off like nothing happened. Okay, maybe you addressed it a little bit, but there's no emotional connect to that. There's nothing in there to make me as a reader go, wow, I never expected that coming. That really sucks. That's a horrible situation that just happened. I feel for you. If that was me and that was my best, you know, somebody who took care of me from birth, betrayed me like that and caused this much destruction and drew me into this and forced me to fight my brother, I'd feel horrible. I don't feel that at all. I get no emotion out of anything out of this other than Hawkman wanting to kill people. And I think this is a major problem with the story. And I understand that somebody's out there going to go, well, geez, Marginoni, what do you expect? It's only, you can only do so much in so many issues. And that's my problem, is when you have something big, I think it's very important to have pages that are added to this thing to draw a reader in, to invest a reader, make them sympathize with some of these characters, and, you know, make them, like, feel something other than, wow, that was a cool fight, I just can't wait to the next one. And I think this is a major problem here. You know, I understand that, you know, maybe the editors at DC and Marvel think that readers have ADD and they can't handle a long story. But, you know, I'm telling you, if there was just one more issue, you know, added to this thing, and, you know, you can still add fighting to it, and you can still add, you know, some character development stuff, but if you invested that extra pages to make, you know, draw us in, to have a better reaction between the two brothers, I mean, that, in theory, should have been an amazing fight, you know, where there's a sense of loss, there's a sense of regret, sacrifice, and there's nothing. You do get a little bit at the very, very end, because, you know, he's his brother's thrown in prison, and he's just like, I want to talk to my brother, but that's not enough, and it happens after the fact. See, the thing is, it's like this. Imagine this, okay? You're a kid, and you fall down and scrape your knee. Do you cry when you scrape your knee, or do you cry, you know, like after the fact? You cry when you scrape it, and that's what this should have happened. Now, I'm not saying Aquaman should have cried. What I'm saying is there should have been a much stronger emotional impact, other than, I didn't want to rule, that's why I left, because it means I'm alone. No, I don't care. That's not enough. You're not showing it. What you're doing is you're putting a bubble in one box to convey a serious emotion, and that's not good. It's to me, I find that unacceptable, and I think that I feel cheated. I mean, which is a shame, because, you know, a lot of you comic readers just don't understand what's out there, and, you know, the types of emotions that that some of the writers actually are able to convey through their characters, and you'd be surprised at what could be accomplished with just a little bit more attention and a little bit more pages, and knowing when to stretch a story out and when to end it. And this was one of the stories that they needed to seriously invest extra time in. I mean, you can tell me right now that there's going to be an epilogue and then there's another page, another issue, but it's too late. See, the minute this battle was over between the two brothers, that's it. It's done. Another problem I have too is this. They have this huge tidal wave that's coming, and it stopped instantly. This is how frustrated I am. I can't convey my words out fast enough. Okay? You have a gigantic tidal wave and it stopped. And they go to the next scene immediately. It shouldn't be that easy. If it's that easy, then where's the sacrifice? Where's the sense of achievement? Where is the sense that I've done something at great cost to prevent a tragedy from happening? No, boom, I stop it, I slow it up, and then Firestorm comes in and turns it to ice. Done. I'm like, really? I remember just sitting here going, really? It's over and done? And I'm like, I'm done. I mean, granted, I think if you lower your standards, this is great. This is a very great issue. It's a great storyline. If you don't want to invest, if you don't want anything other than punching and kicking and Hawkman with a mace smashing into people, that's great. But if only you knew how much more satisfying a story is when there is the other half of that equation, then you would feel the same way I do about how this ended. Okay, Secret Avengers #1. I'm going to be really quick for this one because this is the last week's book. This actually wasn't too bad. It's basically, Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., they inject their heroes and villains with nano something, and they send them on secret missions that nobody's supposed to know about because it's that bad. And the minute the mission is compromised, or the minute it's over, they don't remember anything that happened. And this issue here is to illustrate that whatever happens in the mission, that they can never remember what happens, because Hawkeye gets shot, he gets captured, he gets truth serum, he gets demonic possession, and he has no clue what happened. And that part was kind of cheesy, but I don't know. I mean, I think this thing has a little bit of potential. There's a little bit of humor added through it, but it's not too bad. I originally wasn't going to get them, but I think I'll try #2. I think this one is going to be more of a, let's just see how it goes. Okay, Nova #1. This is the Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness relaunch of the character Nova. And what we have here is this. We have this guy, and he was flying through space. He was a part of the Nova Corps. He was fighting aliens. I mean, he was having a grand old time in space. But at the same time, he's a family man, and he wasn't supposed to do that. Apparently, any Nova with the black helmet on, that meant that basically they were supposed to be, you're not supposed to get attached. They're doing very dangerous things. And this one was stupid, and he got himself a bride, and then kids, and etc., etc. So, the one thing that we don't know is he's flying through space, and the next thing we know, he's a janitor at a high school, and he's got issues. I mean, his brain is like wired funny, and he's trying to relive these old experiences, and nobody believes him, and he acts like the drunk basically, and like he's not even doing his job. His son has to do most of the work, and you can tell there's something really bad about I mean, something happened to him that was horrific to leave him in this state. Well, one day, the father is missing, and there's part of the garage where he's sleeping at is gone. The wall is gone, and it's in tatter. The place is a mess, and the helmet's missing. But the kid doesn't even know that there's a helmet there. Well, that's when the son goes to look for him with his skateboard. He trips and falls, hits his head. He wakes up in the hospital, and then he's met by Rocket Raccoon and Gamora. And they're like, we need to talk about your father. Now, I understand I gave up a whole bunch of spoilers here, but yeah, this gives you the gist of what's going on. I don't think that's really much of a spoiler anyways. So what looks like it's gonna happen is somehow, some way, some form, he's gonna get himself a helmet. He's gonna become a Nova Corps member, and he's gonna look for his dad. And then I think at some point in time, he's gonna understand that his dad really was heroic. His mom thinks he's heroic, but she doesn't say why. You know, but I think she knows more than what she's saying. And I mean, it's a decent start. It's a lot better than I thought it was gonna be, because Jeff Loeb can sometimes write horrible crap sometimes, but this wasn't too bad. Okay, Avengers number 6. Now this is one I'm going to kind of try to keep brief. This is pretty much dealing with Captain Universe, and so this will we get a little bit more idea of what's going on with her character. Also, this is the first time, at least in the Avengers side of things, where we can see that this is the superior Spider-Man, especially with his reaction to eating Sam's food. And he's just a royal, you know what I'm thinking. He's just a not very nice person. I'm not sure what I think about their 2 uniforms, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, this is also setting the stage for if you remember a while back, you know, Marvel did that thing called the New Universe, and this is them bringing those characters into the Marvel Universe. At the end of this issue, we have Tony Stark with an alien, and he's trying to figure out a way to communicate with them, and Captain Universe happens to come in and goes, oh, you're translating it wrong, it's Brsh. And then now we know the guy's name is Night Mask, and Night Mask was from the New Universe, and he's foretelling that, hey, the white thing is coming, the whiteout. So this is what this issue is. So this right here is actually a decent jumping on point if you want to know more about what's going on with that. And finally, the Superior Spider-Man. This actually was really good in numbers of different ways, and primarily it's what I'm finding it good is how well Slott's doing with handling Peter Parker, and like how he's different, because this guy is totally different than what you would normally expect, and he's really starting to show signs of trouble, you know, so to speak, where, you know, wording he's using around people, it's, you know, it's causing people to go, excuse me. And what I thought was kind of funny is how, you know, he's calling himself Dr. Peter Parker, and they're like, oh, dude, I've read your resume, and you're not Peter Parker, you're not a doctor. And he's like, accessing memories. Shit, I can't believe Parker never got his doctorate. So I mean, it's little things like that I find kind of, you know, good. Also, it's another interesting thing is how while Peter Parker basically put it's when we went on his patrol, he put everything aside, and it was about saving lives. In the Ock's point of view now, it's okay, I've done more than what Spider-Man would have done in the night. That's a fire over there. I'll just call the fire department. I have to go see Aunt May. So he's really doing a better job at balancing priorities, but at the same time, though, you know, he's not being as heroic. But I guess you have to look at it this way. What's more heroic? You know, spending the time with your aunt that's injured, or saving people from a burning building, in which firemen would normally do that anyways. But, you know, it's like one of those types of situations. It's how, depending upon how you look at it. Now, if you remember this guy right here, this was from the issue where Spider-Man basically did the no one dies, and he brought him into justice, and sure enough, he escapes, kills people, and this Octo Spider-Man basically is like, don't worry, Jameson, I realize I made a mistake, I will take care of him. And now that kind of gets me excited, because I really want to know what's going to happen. You know, there's that element of, well, yeah, he's just going to bring him to justice. Now you don't know, is he going to kill him? Is he going to beat him to a bloody pulp, and before somebody stops him? Or is he going to end up back in jail? You know, there's this nice little mystery now about what's going to happen. And the big thing, which I'm not going to reveal at this moment, because I'd rather have you read it and see it, there is a villain at the end who makes their appearance, makes some pretty bold statements, and I want to see how this battle is going to go down, because there's no way this person knows the switch happened. So whatever they have planned, it's not going to work. And that's going to be awesome reading. Anyways, that's my review for these books here. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Let me get you a free book. Let's go with Nova. That's TMM16JMJ2IEG. Don't forget to like the Facebook link, and there's a link there for Crunchyroll. I'll try to do more reviews later, but honestly, the reviews on Crunchyroll are taking a lot of time, along with the history of Marvel reviews. So I can't do as many of these reviews as I would like, but I'll try to do more. Anyways, until next time.